Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Disco Elysium. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you chose to join me today as we talk to Idiot Doom Spiral over here, who is telling us about what happened after we crashed the car. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. We basically drank until Sunday, and then we left. I don't need to hear anymore. He nods. It's a hard thing for a man to confront his past. That's why I avoid mine at all costs. You seem like you're characterized by your storytelling ability. Want to tell me another one sometime? Whoop-de-doo. So now I'm a fucking storyteller, he says, slapping his knee. Right. Why not? Better than a beach bum. Yeah. Want to tell me how you became Idiot Doom Spiral? Which he hasn't said before, by the way. This feels like a fever dream, honestly. It depends, really. Are you willing to help me out? You might get scammed here, says our drama. What do you need? Booze. Did you already forget our party? He taps his finger on it to his temple. The thing is, I relayed to you early. The thing I relayed to you earlier. So have you got anything for good old Idiot Doom Spiral? A bottle for a story seems fair to me. Yeah, I got some sweet Commodore Red. Let's do it. Classy. He snatches the bottle and pushes the cork in through the bottleneck. Which is a way that you can do. Why would you do that? You can open bottles like that, but why would you do such a thing? There's no advantage unless, you know, the cork doesn't come out. That's the only way to open it after that, like if you break the cork or something. Rosemary, before Rosemary can start, or rather before Idiot Doom Spiral can start, one of the other bums interjects, "Hey, Spiral boy, you gotta share that." Don't call Abigail, says don't call Abigail. Shut up, guys. I'm telling a story here. He turns to you. Something happened to you. Something happened to me too. My actual name is George, but not around here. You already know. I was once a reasonably high net worth individual. A founder/junior partner of a high concept creative services academy. When my story begins, I had just landed a major contract with an insurance firm. I used to the profits from my agency to finance what I called a cultural incubator. Abstract value generation, value per person, high concept stuff. I developed the paradigm, worked within the paradigm, but the burden of leadership weighed heavily on me, so I went jogging ever so often to keep myself sane. I'm sorry, I had to have a sip of water there. Because this voice breaks my throat, unfortunately. I will continue, though, because I can. Wait, how many people did you have working for you? Did jogging help? Let's go with that, actually. It did. With my trusty Sensoric tracksuit, I felt like I could conquer the world. But now dreams are worn thin, much like my tracksuit, says, thoughtfully, brushing dust off his shit-stained pants. What happened? One day I left on my evening run. As you may know, it's impossible to clear your head when you're distracted by the sound of keys jangling in your pockets. He shakes the bottle and makes a ringing sound. His eyes are clouded, his dilated blood vessels encircling his irises like stinging brambles. So I removed the key ring and put the keys for the front gate and the apartment into different pockets to stop the jangling, you see. At least that was the plan. I was halfway done with my usual lap when it started to rain. The reality situation, or the... What? Oh, right, he says the reality situation. The reality situation became very wet very quickly. How wet are we talking about, exactly? Wet, okay? It was raining really hard. There's a trace of derision in his voice. I made my way back home and discovered that I didn't have the key to the front gate. I'd mixed it up with a key to the letterbox. which was useless. Naturally, the situation required me to climb over the gate, which I did. There was no climbing down because I slipped and landed on my ass. Ouch. Ouch indeed. Reality was looking rather grim just then, me lying on my ass in a mud pit in the middle of a heavy shower. But when life knocked me down, I always got up. So I made my way across the yard, standing in front of my apartment door, fumbling with my pockets. I realized I'd also forgotten my apartment key. Okay, so what happened next? I rang my neighbors' door buzzers. It was late, and most of them didn't even answer. Those who did assumed I was trying to sell them something and hung up before I could even explain the situation. People are naturally wary of odd men, you see. One moment someone chats you up, 5 minutes later you've bought a box of edible lingerie and a strap-on. I don't begrudge them, especially since I was known to be one of the best. He pauses meaningfully. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, says Empathy. Who doesn't wear the crown? I wonder if our crown-wearing, I don't actually remember who wears the crown. Our Inland Empire. No, not really. Not really that crown. Is it Drama? Or Authority? I think it might be Authority. No, Volition. I wonder if Volition is going to talk in reply to that. Also, I'm saying this, I'm reading this, and I'm seeing the... it's a reference, basically. Or it's a it's not... I don't know what it is, but there's a... It's not a preamble. What's the word? It's foreshadowing. The fact that we thought we were going to lose money, that we were going to get scammed, is foreshadowing to this that he's saying. He hasn't lost his sort of aura of, you know, making people wary that they're going to get scammed. Just then, I experienced a moment of clarity. I still had the key to my office. I could wait out the storm there. But when I reached my office, I remembered that I had asked one of my producers to change the locks that day, and since I hired only the best, he'd already done it, and I couldn't get in. Anyway, long story short, life spiraled out of control. I haven't gotten into my apartment for years, and my girlfriend left me because she didn't want to date a homeless man. The company, well, you see where I'm going with this. So now you've heard my tragic tale. What do you think? Like nothing you've ever heard, huh? He takes a long swig of his drink. That does not sound believable. That's really weird. I wonder if it's a reference to like a folk tale. You can call the cops. You can call the fire department or something. Or just have locksmiths that open doors for you. Especially if you contracted them. I literally can't believe it. Yeah. Yeah. Which actually is making me think that he might be lying. Or at least not telling the whole truth, obviously. Let's see what options we have over here. Wait, is that it? I feel like there are some steps missing. Yes, it does feel like there's some steps missing. I'm almost homeless myself. I'm definitely homeless. Like I've lost my memory. I don't think anybody's gonna help me ever because they all hate me. So I think our character here was in a situation that the moment everybody around him could see him basically down in the mud and buried, they would turn on him, and I think that's what's gonna happen if I'm not... I was gonna say if I'm not careful, but lucky, probably. You do realize all of this is your own fault. I wonder if that is supposed to be like a moral to the story. If he's supposed to have a retort or something to that, or just supposed to be ironic, or I don't know, but I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say this one. Wait, is that it? I feel like there's some steps missing. The killer. I've thought about this series of events for a long time. If there was anything else to it, I would have thought of it by now. Why didn't you go to the authorities? Says Kim. Well, at one point they came to me, but you know, I didn't have any ID on me, so they tossed me in jail for 2 days. Why didn't you have any ID on you? This is... I don't know. Maybe it's just not... Maybe it's a reference to a real-life story. Maybe it's a reference to a fear that's common in some people. I've never had that fear, because I can just break a window and come in and go in. Speaking of which, my ID has expired since September, and it is now April. Great job, Colonel. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to prison, because I don't deal with the cops. That's the best way to avoid. No, this just either feels like a reference to something, or it just doesn't feel real. I'm gonna say this one. I literally cannot believe it. Me neither, Tequila. When I lost my keys, I lost more than access to my apartment. I also lost my leverage over humanity. I wasn't a high-concept creative director anymore. I was just some homeless asshole with a premium Sanseek lycra, maybe, tracksuit. You can't imagine what that does to a man's confidence. He turns his eyes to the bottle. Anyway, that was all the story one bottle gets you. Almost empty, this one. Why do you keep losing all your stuff? Good fucking question, Tequila. If I knew the answer, you think I'd be hanging out on a beach with this formerly premium but now extremely dirty 2-piece lycra tracksuit? I used to own my reality situation. My business buddies and I had our own creative services agency. And I had a nice apartment, an even nicer piece of ass, but somehow it all got away from me. Now I can't hang onto anything. Just last week I stole this nice new jacket, but then I lost it too. The only thing I haven't lost are these 2 drunks. Our empathy says, you of all people should empathize with this. Perhaps this lost jacket is something you could help with. What was the name of your agency? My agency, man. He takes a long melancholic sip. The Boom Boom Room. Our concept was combining high art with the lowest forms of marketing. The color red breasts and oil painting. I'm not sure how that follows. I convinced my partners to reinvest some of our profits in an even more high-concept cultural incubator called Thin Air. The artists were happy, the clients were happy. I was financing a group of poets in East Havashall who were developing a new universal poetic language, but then it all went to shit. He looks towards the bay. If it sounds like it makes no sense, that's because it doesn't, says our logic. Man, mixing high and low, commodifying culture. That's extremely my shit, is a line that I could say. I would guess that would be probably moralist in the alignment. Mixing oil painting and breasts, because of course oil paintings have never been of breasts. I think here is just the reference here of breasts is just using women as a marketing strategy, just sort of adverts with women, naked women or whatever, or at least breasts just floating about. It's just some cynical wonkery, I'm gonna say, or wankery. I don't actually know how to pronounce that word properly. I don't know many words. When you know, well, you know, sex sells. Yeah, it's the invisible hand of the market. It's not about what's good or what's morally correct. It's about what sells. That's the first rule of advertising. And we have 2 options. Maybe, but it's still tired. Or, yeah, actually, you're right. Let the market sort it out. No need for me to regulate this stuff. Which are both commentaries. Maybe, but it's still tired, I'm gonna say. Maybe you're right. Who knows? Maybe we were behind the curve. We were fucking rich, though. That much I know. Yep. What's up with the tracksuit? What? You never seen 100% Lycra before? Go on, feel that primo material. The man extends his arm. And I can touch it with my interfacing. Sure. I succeeded, but I still lost morale. Good God, it's nearly impossible to describe how dirty this texture is. At least I didn't die. That's probably what it was. Because I was going to die of touching a dispense. It's, didn't we do that with a chair? Yeah. It's like rubbing two jellyfish skins together. You feel almost 15% less human for having touched it. Randomized trials have also found lycra to be associated with a number of exotic, highly malignant cancers. Is that true? I mean, I would... maybe. So you also have that to look forward to. And then there's the smell, but you don't even want to think about that. Pretty nice, huh? This might be one of the last of its kind. Should probably be in a museum, honestly. He takes another sip. Whoa, you're lucky. He never lets me feel it, says Rosemary. That's because your paws are fucking filthy, Rosie. We're right next to the bay. You could wash them anytime. What about the other drunks? My fellow members of the Union of Moribund Alcoholics. They're exactly what they look like. Hey, Tequila. You want to buy some speed? Shut the fuck up, Rosemary. He's a cop, remember? I thought he was a cool cop. Don't call Abigail, says. Don't call Abigail. And this is Abs. He points to the man in the pipe. So yeah, that's basically us. We drink together. What's this about the lost jacket? Tequila, it's a verifiable tragedy. It was practically brand new. Sure, it didn't really go with my lycra threads, but it did itch a lot less. He looks at you, bleary-eyed. Say, you're a detective, right? Maybe you can help old Doom spiral out. Solve the case of the missing jacket. What do you say, Tequila? Wait, you're asking a police officer to help find a jacket you stole and then lost? Yeah, exactly. You're here to serve, right? Okay, sure. Where'd you lose it? If I knew where I lost it, I don't think I'd have it. No, wait. If I knew where I lost it, don't you think I'd have it? I mean, maybe I was up by the boardwalk, or walking around the beach, or checking out the abandoned fish market. That's a lot of places. Somewhere north of here, that's for sure. You could ask around, see if anyone's seen it. Okay, let me ask you something else then. I want to hear another story of yours, maybe. What's in a name? Wait, I want to hear the story of your name again. Oh, yeah, we're not giving him more booze. I might have more booze, but that's not what we're doing right now. What's in a name? He looks up at the sky as if pondering the question, then turns back to you. Before he can start, one of the others... oh yeah, that's the bottle. And I can come back. Have you got any more stories? I do. But as you can see, my fuel tank is running quite low, if you catch my drift. He spins the bottle in his hand. Not a single drop of liquid remains. I don't have any on me right now. He shrugs his shoulders dramatically. Cotton mouth is keeping my tongue imprisoned. Be seeing you then. You too, Tequila Sunset. Huh. What a curious, not pair. All of them. Trio. Trio is the word. So to the north, we might find a jacket. I doubt it. Let's have a chat with the kids. As long as they're not like Kuno and Kunese. Honestly. The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone. He can't be more than 5 years old. The other one looks indistinguishable from him. He watches his brother, you assume, kick the stone with his tongue lolling out of his mouth. Kids, have you seen any bad people around? I'm gonna ask. One of the twins, you assume, looks up, his mouth slightly open. What bad people? He asks. I don't think questioning four-year-olds without their parents present is gonna crack the case, says the lieutenant. Then we're definitely doing it, says our authority. Hey, where's your mom? If the kids don't reply, absorbed in their little game. Bye, kids. Take care. Yeah, let's not bother the kids. I assume that's Probably family member. The street sign is illegible below the graffiti. Graffiti! Right. Aduhai indung suhorang, she says. The woman next to a bucket of clothes hums an odd melody. Her eyes are closed.
Welcome to the fishing village. Please lean in closer. I have cataracts.
Then how does she know you're here? Cataracts but people with cataracts can see, it's just they can't see as well. I'm gonna lean forward.
Oh, welcome, police officer. We don't cause any trouble around here. And we don't want any trouble either.
A shadow passes over her face as she says that.
We are not here to cause any trouble, madame.
What he said, we're cops, we don't cause trouble, we take care of trouble.
Oh, of course. Last time we saw you around here was 12 years ago. You also came to take care of trouble then. Which you did. But still, in Martinez, you're considered an ill omen.
What kind of an ill omen are we talking about?
Oh, the usual. Dark tidings. Black hound.
That's you, all right. A black hound licking your own heels, says our inland empire. Wait, I've been here before?
No, not you personally.
I figured.
I meant the RCM. Some of the men got into a fight. One of them killed another. Locked himself in that woodshed over there.
And she points to the building behind her.
He was brooding, needed some help opening the door. You got it open for him and took him to think about what he'd done in a more secluded place. Somewhere more quiet.
She says it as if he was on some kind of spiritual retreat. Yeah. Well, if I'm considered an ill omen, why hasn't anyone told me that?
Maybe we are afraid.
Why?
Because you're an ill omen, but you're still welcome here, as long as men with guns aren't chasing you. And maybe even then, because that's the kind of fishing village we've built. I'm sorry there's not a lot of room to park your motor carriage. And not a lot of houses. Or a lot of people. My kids are long gone, searching for treasure. So are others. Ah, look at me ramble on. What brings you to us?
Have you seen a red-haired woman named Ruby around the coast? Nay, I haven't seen her anyone lately. Because she's blind, says her reaction speed, which you seem to have forgotten. No, cataracts are not blind, although advanced cases can certainly blind you. Okay, but do you know who I'm talking about? This is my little cinder block town, she nods with a wrinkled smile. I know what goes on around here. She's being evasive. She knows something. There was a murder in Martinez, says Kim as he points to the east. She might be a suspect. We would appreciate your help. Would you now? She turns to him. I know how this world works, and it doesn't work when people tell on each other. This isn't about the Union, you know. You don't have to worry about retaliation. Ha! I should have known, she shakes her head. This is yet another Union mess. I'm not afraid of them, you know. We're not in the habit of being afraid around here. I see. You know something, but you've decided not to tell us. There's not much to tell. People come and go. Now, was there something else? I see, ma'am. The lieutenant turns to you. I hope you don't mind if we look around anyway. Ruby was here. You know it, says our logic. Ask her about lodgings. Where could someone stay around here? Stay? Most people here are trying to leave. That said, if lodgings is what you're looking for, I've got a free room in the shack. Her soapy thumb points to the building behind her. How much is it? She said it was free, but maybe that's not the free that she means. I won't charge you for it. Take it as a gesture of goodwill. from the village to the Asriam. Wait, you're just giving it to me? No one is using it, and God knows it's not much anyway. She tilts her head on the side, pondering over something. You can stay there. There's this guy, Gart, who makes me give him money every night, just so I don't die out in the cold. That's exactly how they would get ya. That's why we built our own cylinder blocks houses on the other side. So we don't have to give money to those crooks. She looks around. They might not look like much, but they're ours. Wait, why isn't anyone using the room? My kids grew up and left, like they do. The house is long empty now. I live in the small side attachment. It's easier and cheaper to keep warm. You got yourself a tenant. I'm gonna get the keys to my new house. Don't make an old woman regret opening her house to the police. A key appears from under her apron. She hands it to you. Well, if you're not in the hostel in the morning, says Kim, know where to find you. I think he means I know where to find you. He looks around and adds, here, in a shack. He's a little relieved you're no longer in that room. Our Felician says, should he? This environment encourages one thing and one thing only. Drinking. What is it in this fishing village? Just us. She sounds tired. It's barely a village anymore. We almost don't exist. What do you mean? This is a pretty much a non-place, she grins. A gap. A blank spot on the map. Just a cluster of nameless shacks on a nameless street. Who else lives in this village? Well, there's Lillian and her kids. A few new folks live in the house to the east. She nods her head across the courtyard. But they're away right now. And then there's the drunks, she sighs. Not a pretty sight. But there's little we can do about it. Home is home, even for them. Oh yeah, I met a couple of drunks here. I'm sure you did, she says with a peculiar smile and nods. Nature keeps them in rotation. A new face pops up every now and then, and an old one disappears and is forgotten. This is who we are. There's gotta be something here, tell me. She waves her hand southwest. Over there you can find more of the same. Shacks and trees growing wild. That's the Pox. The Pox, what's that? An old military hospital and its surroundings. She looks towards the buildings to the south. Buildings that I did see, I believe. I think I was trying to get in there unwittingly, but yeah. Or it used to be, during the time of the suzerain. After the war, it was turned into a goodwill hospital for shell-shocked veterans and folks looking for some quiet in the old sanatorium gardens. Now the area is crisscrossed with nameless streets and makeshift cinder block houses. Shacks as far as the eye can see. What happened to the hospital? The goodwill ran out. She tightens the scarf around her neck. The staff left and the place was shut down. It's long gone by now. Is there a way to make a little money around here? Here? For you. She lets out a dry chortle. No, officer. The only money we have here is some coins the drunks tried hiding from their women and then forgot about. Under carts, boats, in little boxes. It's not hard to find, says Savoir-Faire. It is true, it is not hard to find. All right, there's another topic I'd like to address. She nods. Rinsing another piece of cloth. Oh, she's washing. Right, of course. However, we're out of time, so I'm off. And we'll continue talking to her in the next episode. But for right now, I'm Colonel RPG. And this has been Disco Elysium. I really hope you've enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and leave a comment. Like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later. But above all, thank you so much for watching. And I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.